All right, guys, so it's Liam or High Drizzly here from Divine Mind. I'm with your second placing team from the first Halo Australia online pro league. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick interview with these guys, let them introduce themselves, kind of ask a few questions going forward as well. So guys, maybe we'll start with you, Junior. If you guys want to just quickly introduce yourself, let us know a little bit about you, and then we'll kind of run from there, all right?
Hey, my name's Ryan, otherwise known as Junior. I've been playing Halo since Halo 1, playing competitively as much as I could. Been to quite a few of the World Championships, and yeah, I love playing Halo at a high level, and I'm a physiotherapist on the side.
Yeah, awesome. And we've actually got the first episode of the podcast that's going to be coming out soon is with Junior as well, so we get to learn a little bit more about him there. But Pips, do you want to take us away? Give us a quick intro on yourself.
Hey, I'm Tyson. Everyone just calls me Pip. I've been playing Halo competitively since the start of Halo 5 and been doing it ever since. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I've enjoyed playing with you kind of over the last 6 months when I kind of started trying to get into the competitive side of things as well. So it's been good to finally meet you. Nem, give us a rundown on you.
Hey, I'm Kyle, known as Nemassist. I started competing in Halo back in Halo 3, so it's been a while now. I recently moved to New Zealand about a year ago, so it's been pretty interesting, like getting into the whole Australia, New Zealand competitive scene, and I'm looking forward to playing here in Infinite.
Yeah, awesome, man. And I've got to say, I'm a big fan of your gamer tag. Nemesis is pretty sick. So, and Aaron, give us a rundown for you as well.
Hey guys, I'm Aaron. I go by the gamer tag of Benno. I've been playing competitively. I think my first competition was at a game store in Halo 1. So 16, 17 years now, which is crazy to say out loud. That's most of my life. I'm 29 this year, which is probably one of the oldest Halo players going around. I've been to multiple overseas events and still getting stuck back into Halo. It's my competitive drive that gets me on and wants to get better. So that's my story.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's such a big pull back to it as well. I think that every time that I kind of drift away from it, I'm always brought back easily by the nostalgia. All it takes is a friend or two from the days to kind of say, hey, do you remember that time on Last Resort where you got injured? And you're just like, yep, I want to play Halo. So I think lots of people kind of feel you on that. All right, so we obviously just had the first the tournament go by. What did you guys think of the tournament, the layout, and kind of how it worked?
I personally think the tournament was run really well. Heaps of teams, which was fantastic to see. There was no issues on the day with anything, as far as I'm concerned. Had a bit of a wait to watch the losers bracket go by, but that was good to have another warm-up series before the grand finals. And yeah, it was awesome from my point of view.
Yeah, awesome. And maybe Nemesis, from your perspective, playing internationally as well, online comp-wise, how did it kind of feel for you in comparison to other ones you've been a part of?
Yeah, I mean, first off, it was nice just to be in a tournament again. It's been, like 2 years since the last Halo 5 tournament I competed in, so it was really nice getting to compete again. It really reminded me of all the online qualifiers and everything back in the day in Halo 5, so yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, awesome. I think we had about 30 teams in total, so that's pretty fantastic. That was kind of my goal in the background of everything, was 30 teams, because I played in a Greater Toronto area. Like, they had a schoolyard quarantine comp a few weeks ago, and they had 31 teams of just randoms being matched in duos. And I was just like, if we can get 30 teams in Australia, I'm going to be so fucking stoked with that. So that was the goal.
Turnout.
Yeah, I'm glad we got there. So all right, from the competition, do you guys have a highlight, like a game that you played that you loved the most, or kind of something that went down? What was the highlight for you guys?
Has to be the True Slayer, right?
Yeah, definitely. The True Slayer, I think we were down 12 kills against Berserk's team. Brought it back 50-49. That was, and it's one of those things where it's just classic Halo. Like, you know, competitive aside, I think we spoke about that game for a good 10, 15 minutes after it was done. It's just like that reminiscing on those little clutch plays, and you think back to it all, and yeah, it really brings the fun back into it when you have those really exciting games.
Yeah, man. And I was in the Twitch chat at that point in time watching as well. Everybody was blowing up because that was just such an awesome comeback. How did it come? Can you guys give me the rundown? Obviously, you've probably analyzed it a bit now. How did it? What kind of happened?
I think we all just. I know at one point we went back and watched it. I think it was 49-43 at one point.
Yeah.
And I think at that point we all sort of won our individual battles. We got control of the map. We had them all trapped on one side, made them all funnel into one little corridor, and we just were able to pick them off there.
Yeah, because I think I remember at the end I was watching it was kind of over on bubble side. They were kind of on both bubbles, and you guys had the rest of the map, and they just couldn't get out. And I was like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna.
Yeah. I think old Junior came up and gave him a little bit of a spook in the bubble, and they all sort of freaked out and started pushing into the base. So we just stood there and started slapping faces.
That's one of those plays at the end of the game where when it's so close, people start getting scared to make the right plays. But you know, if you can do a play safely, like flank the bubble. I mean, I didn't even do much, but it was just enough for them to panic, and then we trapped them at the door and got a kill. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And from kind of playing, I guess, getting back to competitive scene, did you guys kind of feel like you got into a bit of a groove through it, and like what was working for you guys as well?
I think we were definitely up and down during the day. I think, me personally, the thing I think I struggled with the most was just not being that tournament endurance conditioned where, you know, you have to play for those prolonged days on the events. I think we lost a bit of steam towards and kind of just came out a bit flat. But I mean, given the fact that, you know, we've had probably 2 days of practice as a team, and I know, you know, Kyle and I, for example, haven't played in 2 years. Coming back with a week practice, I'm pretty impressed with how we played, to be honest. So.
Yeah, same. And Pips, you kind of joined in last minute as well. How did you kind of find playing with these guys?
Yeah, I played with Junior and Benno before in like previous things. So I know what they're sort of like. It was definitely pretty different from the teams I was on before to this team. Definitely a different play style and different environment, but it was good fun.
Yeah, awesome. No, it was good watching you guys. I guess moving forward as well, the thing that I think not many people have really talked about as well, but Pips, you took Seduce or Dan's spot because you've come into a comp only a few days before losing the founding player of the team, you know, so obviously that kind of affecting you guys a little bit. Do you feel like you're going to kind of stay together as a team now and moving forward? Do you think it's going to keep working? You guys will be able to build off what you started?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the plan. I know I've always been a fan of teams sticking through like any problems or issues they have instead of just jumping ship and trying to form something else.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely going to be ups and downs, but I think when you can work through that stuff as a team, it definitely makes you better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've even scratched the surface yet.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, 2 days is nothing, and the team synergy is a huge part of actually playing really effectively together. And you had those real peak moments throughout the competition, like the Truth Slayer, you know, that kind of show that you guys can just do it so well. And the more that you play together, the better it's going to be as well. So this one's kind of a little bit different, less about you guys, but I'd love to kind of hear from each of you. Maybe, we can start with you, Junior. Out of everyone that you played against, aside from maybe the Ali's team, were there kind of any really standout players that you went up against and you were like, whoa, I wasn't expecting kind of so much out of them?
The only other team was Rambo, Snaky, Nurix, and somebody helped me. Who was the fourth? Aleo. So yeah, I think we played pretty strong against those guys. It is tricky because they're all good players individually, but I think, even with our 2 days of practice together, you can already see how our level of teamwork trumped a lot of their individual skill. They were definitely a team to watch out for, and I think with a bit more practice, those types of players can become good teams, especially now that they've got a couple of teams above them who have a much faster or team working orientated game style. So they did impress me a little bit, but I think we actually came out pretty strong against those guys. So there wasn't
good games to watch, but it was still commanding from your perspective. So and Nem, what about you? Did you have any people that kind of surprised you that you went, oh, that's someone I got to watch out for?
Apart from A1, I think it would definitely have to be Nurix. I think they were saying he's a French pro player.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I've never really heard of him or played against him or with him, so I was definitely impressed with his individual skill. His shot was pretty solid.
Yeah, awesome. And Aaron, what about you?
That you stole my answer, Carl. Nurix seems really strong. He seems like he floats around the map really well, and he's always in good spots. I've never really used the phrase caught him with his pants down, but he seems to know what he's doing. So
yeah, with his armor down. That's fair enough.
That's it.
And Pips, what about you? Is there anyone that kind of stood out?
Yeah, obviously Nurix is probably the best player besides the top two teams. He definitely stood out. But pretty impressed with Snaky because he's been playing quite a bit and he's getting a lot better. So I think that team, if they stick together, they can actually be pretty decent.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I've kind of been following a little bit of what Snaky's been doing, just like through Twitter and listening to him in the chat as well. And I think he's got so much potential. He's got to get that attitude right. Like, your mental's so important. If he gets his mental right, man, like, I'm excited to see what he can do because he's got the general talent there for it, and he's got some good players on his team to kind of work with as well. So hopefully,
if I could just highlight one other player, it would definitely be Vamped, because I don't think Vamped has had anywhere near as much international experience as the other players in the top two teams, and having one player on your team who isn't keeping up can be enough to kind of ruin what your team's doing. So shout out to him. He was doing really well during the tournament, so that was impressive.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that as well, because I completely forgot. But I'm pretty sure that he didn't even have an Xbox or have Halo until we announced the competition, and then a few days after he actually went and picked it up. So he's not had a huge amount of practice either. And I think he did a really good job to kind of jump into that team and kind of run with them as well, especially because they had a few swaps through it. But no, I'm glad you brought that up. All right, cool. What was I going to say? For you guys, improvement-wise, between now and the next Halo 5 comp, what's your kind of plan on improvement? What are the things you're going to be focusing on?
I think we kind of spoke a little bit about it today. I think having some plans in place. A prime example of why we need a plan is Plaza Strongholds against A1 in the finals, where we just got 100-0'd. That's a game type where if you versus a good team and you don't have a plan to break, I think that's the biggest thing in most Halos, is if you don't have a plan to break, you're kind of just hoping the other team makes a huge blunder, and if they don't, you won't get out of it. As simple as that. So.
Awesome. Do you guys agree with that as well?
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I've watched all of our gameplays from those last 3 games or 4 games. And individually, positioning-wise, most of us gravitate towards the correct positions. They had a lot of power weapon kills and power-up control, which, because they capitalize off of their first pick, so just say one of them has a sniper rifle, they get a headshot with it, they capitalize pretty well when they get one dead on the enemy team. So just having those power weapons in their hands and just getting picks, even if it's 10 sniper kills throughout a game or whatever it is, that's 10 plays where they're flying at you and you're one man down. So definitely power up control is a massive thing. But positionally we're really good. It was just, I think as we start to play and gel a bit better, start to build some chemistry and get our individual shots. Even myself was, I was getting destroyed by players like Barcode in that grand final, so a bit shaky. But that stuff comes with good team play and structure to reinforce our individual skills. So.
Yeah, of course. I think that I was actually just about to say that about Barcode as well. Like, from playing against him, but then watching him on stream as well, I think that he has got probably the most potential as far as flying at you and applying pressure, because that kid just doesn't miss a shot. Like he's he's a beast when it comes to that. So I think, like you said, having a plan on how to break a setup and do that type of stuff will help you guys. Again, that comes with playing, and you guys have only just really recently kind of come back together. So excited to see what kind of comes out of that next. Do you guys think you can come away with the win next time?
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think, yeah, I mean, winner bracket, we lost back-to-back Refuge, and I think that was probably the third time I played that map. So, yeah, I mean, they've played it overseas, and, well, not all of them, but I know they're definitely pretty experienced on it. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to say the least when we actually know what map we're playing.
Yeah, and there's a lot that can go wrong on Refuge as well when you haven't played it. You know, like it's so easy just to get lost in the rings there, ring 1, ring 2, ring 3, and kind of not know what's going on, and it's just a waste of time. You're not helping team, you don't know where everything is, and you kind of waste a life. So that's me every single game on Refuge. So yeah. All right, and so we've got the Halo 3 tournament that's coming up on May 10th. You guys are playing in that as well?
I think that's the plan. I think Benno might
We may not have. Yeah.
Benno
May
might
not
be
be the
playing
full
with a
team.
different team, just as old. I think it's some of your old Halo 3 teammates.
Yep.
So yeah,
Cool.
I think the three of us will probably just playing it for fun. I don't know if we'll take it as serious, but
Yeah.
definitely it'll be nice to compete.
Yeah. Awesome. No, that's good to hear. I'm looking forward to it because that's where I started. I started playing Halo, I think, when I was like 17 or 18 or something, and Halo 3 was the nostalgia for me. So I'm looking forward to just. I mean, my team will get destroyed, but it'll be fun to play, and then we'll have a base point of where to improve from. You know, so. What about for you guys as well? For anyone that's kind of watching, if you want to register for that Halo 3 tournament, I'll put a link below to the Halo Australia website. It's easy. You can just click on there and you can register as well. There's also a number of resources on our Facebook as well as a free agents group. So if you're watching this and you're an Australia, New Zealand player and you want to get involved, you can jump onto that link. I'll help you guys to find teammates. We're going to be running a number of things as well to kind of help you to get involved training camp-wise. So that when you jump into playing against some of the best teams in Australia, you've got a little bit more experience as well. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go through with you guys as well. Thank you so much for all of your times. Before we kind of finish up, though, did you guys have anything that you want to kind of add to, put out there for the community or kind of mention like that?
I think a huge pat on the back for the community for showing up, and for you guys at Divine Mind for actually running this. I think everyone has been itching for some competition, and it goes to show that there is still a lot of players active here, and obviously coming up into the new game, I think it's going to be that momentum shift where we can sort of start strong and just keep building on what we've got. So
yeah, awesome, cool. Any of you guys, anything else from you guys?
Yeah, it was good to see everyone playing again. Good to see that people didn't care too much about results and just decided to play no matter what teammates they had. It was good to see. And shout out to you guys for running this.
Awesome, man. Hey, it was our pleasure. Fred and I were super impressed with everything. The Halo Australia guys did such an amazing job as well, casting, running everything. I worked with them pretty much the whole way through it, and especially, Evan and Lunchy, Xavier, they put in so much time into trying to make this work. And also the guys from Tournamatch, who are actually the software on their website, wouldn't have been able to kind of bring it. There's a lot of things that we're working on to improve for future comps, but that's the whole thing. There's nothing more than up. That was the first one. We can only get better from there. So thank you guys again. Before we go, I'll ask you guys just for a link to, your socials if you want anyone to follow you on Twitch or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or anything like that. So anyone that's watching this, if you want to get in touch with them, or if you want to be able to follow their journey a little bit as well, I'll put a link to any of their stuff that they want you to have access and down below as well. But thank you so much for everyone that's kind of tuning in. Leave me some feedback in the comments. Let me know if you had any questions that I didn't ask that you'd like to know from the top teams, or anything you'd like us to talk about. Please do all the things that you'd normally do on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys all next time. See you guys.